I made another video last night, and it was around 18 minutes long, and anyways, apparently I can't upload anything that's longer than 15 minutes on YouTube, which is still better than the 10 it used to be. But I was kind of upset about it because I gave him a phone number so that I could, specifically so that I could post longer videos if I wanted to, which I can't really imagine doing on a regular basis. But you never know. I really like to talk. So, that was frustrating. It was about, kind of about what I think about the churches of today and Christians. And I'm not really wanting to argue with anyone. I'm not going to argue with anyone about their beliefs or why, but I'll discuss it, and I enjoy discussions, and I do enjoy debates. I just don't enjoy arguing. I don't think it's very productive. Oh, shh, babies. Oh, shh, babies. I mean, you can, if you're debating, then you're sharing information, and you're not, hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? Hey, babies. Lulu. Hi. But when you're arguing, it's just two people sitting there and saying, I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm not going to listen to you. A debate is intellectual, and you're using your brain, you're using your mind to show the points that you have. And sometimes it can make your views stronger, and it can really, really solidify what you think and what you believe. Other times it can make you question it so much that you end up really going into the other viewpoint and looking at it and saying, why do I believe what I believe? Why don't I believe what they believe? And so I do enjoy debates, but arguments is just anger. It's just defensive, and I'm not into arguments. I'm not here to argue anything with anyone. I don't like it. It's not productive. It's just pointless. I love sharing what I believe. I love talking about things, and a lot of times I even enjoy being a devil's advocate in a sense where, I look at it and I think about the good points of an opposing viewpoint. Anyways, but that's not what this video is about. It's mostly just about being a Christian, What is being a Christian? Do you know what being a Christian is? Does it mean that you say some little prayer in church, and then, oh, you're a Christian now, and, now you're going to go to heaven, and it doesn't matter what you do? Does it mean that you go to church? Does it mean that you just, know that there's a God? Well, the devil knows that there's a God. No, being a Christian is being a disciple of Christ, where you learn about Christ and you follow him, and you think about different great teachers in history, and you think about them. And when you are a disciple, you try and learn and grow and do as much, like an apprentice. When children would be sent to an apprentice to learn a trade, in an apprenticeship, my brain is not thinking the right words right now. But at any rate, a student learns from their teacher, and they try to take, as the goal of teaching somebody is to impart your beliefs and values onto them. It's a two-way street, and there's no way you cannot teach someone who's not interested in learning what you're selling. And you can't really teach somebody who's not thinking about it for themselves. Maybe you can, but it's not true. It's just not true. Anyways, but the whole point of this is that if you call yourself a Christian and you are not doing every day everything that you can to learn about Christ and to be more like him and to grow like him, then you've missed the mark. You're not a Christian. You can't be a Christian if that's the way it is. Hi, princess. You're so cute. Oh, wait. And I just really would challenge everyone that calls themselves a Christian to really read what Jesus says, and the Old Testament was a huge stumbling block for me. It got me into wanting to follow the letter of the law. In the New Testament, it says that if you're following the law and you don't have salvation. And so I think it's important to be careful of that and to realize that that we have salvation. By the grace of God, we can get to heaven, and there's no way that we can do that without God. But that doesn't mean that you can just do whatever you want. And it certainly doesn't mean to follow some arbitrary rules that some churches just decide to impose. I'm a big fan of no rules, but the problem with that is that you need to be inspired. There is no problem with that. If you're following rules just because they're rules, then you're missing the mark. You can't just follow rules and do it. It's a heart issue. It's a heart issue. When Jesus said, if you lust after a person, you've already committed adultery. If you're angry with a person, you're already guilty of murder. And the point of all of this is to say that it's an issue with your heart, not an issue with what you actually do or don't do, although, that helps, but it doesn't matter. And that is a huge struggle. Even Paul said that he struggled. What? But your brother's making you eat bugs? Oh, brother's taking your baby bugs? Really? Ew. Tell him to be nicer. You guys can come inside, okay? Kaylin! Can you come here real quick? Please? Hey, so you're messing with Tristan? With his bugs? Alright, so Kaylin, be nice to your brother and don't take the things that he has, please. Okay? Kaylin, if you guys want, you can come inside and do some schoolwork. Or you can do schoolwork in a few minutes, okay? Something about baby bugs and whatever, but the whole point, rules bug me, because if you have rules and you follow them just because they're rules, then you're missing the heart issue. And the heart issue is that you have to want to do it. And when you become saved, you're supposed to change. You're supposed to want to follow Christ. And if you're not following Christ or trying, then I would challenge your salvation. And I would really question that. And this isn't a video of condemnation. This is a video that is calling you to challenge that, to learn and to grow. I'm constantly challenging my beliefs and learning and growing, and that's just the way it is. How many people today live in these rich houses, even call themselves poor? I'm one of the poorest people in America, especially for having a family, but I'm not poor. I'm not poor. If you look at the rest of the world, especially third world countries, we're incredibly rich. Incredibly rich. We have a place to stay. We have so many shoes, plenty of clothes. I even have makeup. I have the freedom to be online and to make these videos and to learn so much, to raise my children, to cook food and eat food every day of the month. I don't have to listen to my children crying about being hungry. And, and that's amazing. That is an amazing, powerful gift. But Jesus said that it would be easier for a rich man, or for a camel to go through the head of a needle, than a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. And when you look at how prosperous at the moment our country is, and I'm not thinking that it's going to be this prosperous for very long. In fact, we're so far into debt, I don't even know if I should call it prosperous. But the people of America live in such wealth, even some of the poorest of them live in such wealth. It's amazing when you think about how much we whine about not having things, or how much we are constantly trying to improve, or, and this isn't, whatever, but you got to be happy where you are, and you have to question your beliefs. What do you believe? Would you be willing to sell everything today if Jesus came? If Jesus said, sell everything you own, be homeless, and follow me, would you do it? You might say that you would do it, but would you really do it? I don't know. You know, I like to say that I would do it, but I would probably have a list as long as my arm. Well, I got to do this first, and this first, and this first, and this first. And every time that people said that to Jesus, I have to go bury my father. Let the dead bury their dead. That is powerful. That is scary. The level of commitment that you are being asked to show is amazing, but the gift is such a reward. In the end, Jesus will come back, and there will be so many people that run to him crying, Father, Father, and he will say, I never knew you. Get away from me. Do you want to be one of those people? I don't.